You might feel like you're the only one going through this, but you're not alone. I'm not saying it makes it easier, but there's thousands of young people all over Ireland whose parents have split up. I'm Keith, by the way. My parents separated a while back. It was tough, still is sometimes. There's no right way to feel about it. You can feel rubbish. Sad, hurt, angry, worried, confused, maybe relieved, or guilty, like it's your fault, even though it's not. Parents separate for different reasons to do with what's going on between them, never because of anything you've done. It's hard seeing your mum and dad feeling all kinds of stuff too, while they're also trying to figure out what's going to happen. Important stuff, like how they're going to share taking care of you. Some parents sort things out between themselves, others look for outside help. If your parents are separating, or already have, this film might help a bit. It'll give you a heads up on some choices parents have when they're separating and need help agreeing on important things, like where you're going to live.
Hiya, my name's Catty and my mum and dad are separated too. Everything's settled down now, but to be honest, it was stressful for a while. For all of us. Do you know, they just found it really hard to agree on things. In the end, they decided to get some help. They looked into a few options. Court, mediation, that kind of thing. In case your mum and dad do the same, here's some information. Alright, first up, your parents might get legal advice. You see, there are laws about separation and divorce. Your mum and dad have rights, and so have you. It's complicated, so it's pretty normal for each parent to get their own solicitor to give them advice. Your parents' feelings for each other may have changed, but their love for you is as strong as ever. And so, if they're finding it hard getting used to the changes, they might do a parenting course to help them be the best mum or dad for you in this new situation. Or they could decide to get some personal counselling to help them deal with everything. They might also look into family mediation. That's where a mediator helps parents work together to try and agree on important stuff like how best to take care of you. When parents agree on things through mediation, they can then get a court to turn what they've decided into a legal agreement. If your parents decide to try mediation and you'd like the mediator to know what your thoughts about things are, maybe chat to your mum and dad so they can ask the mediator about how best to do this.
Another thing your mom and dad might do, and a lot of people do this, is go to court. There's district courts all around Ireland. They deal with different kinds of legal issues, including family law stuff like guardianship, which is about your mom and dad's role as your legal guardians in looking after you. Custody, which is about how your mom and dad share day-to-day care of you. Access, that's about how often you'll get to see the parent you're not going to be living with. And maintenance, which is about parents' responsibilities to look after you financially. Courts can be crowded and noisy. The atmosphere can be tense and unfriendly. They're not really designed for children and young people, so most of the time they don't really go. But in case you're interested, here's who's in the courtroom for family law stuff. There's the parents and their solicitors, if they have them. There's the judge, and then there's the court clerk or registrar who helps the judge. There's a law now, which means certain journalists might be there too. A judge can decide not to allow journalists in, or parents can ask the judge not to let them in. If they are allowed in, then there's rules about what they can report. They can't identify a family or give out any other information that would identify them.
If your parents go to court, it'll be the judge, not your mum or dad, who'll decide things like who you're going to live with. Basically, The judge needs to take everything into account and then make decisions based, above all, on what's best for you and any brothers or sisters you have. If your parents are going to court and you'd like the judge to know how you feel about things too, the best thing might be to talk to your mum and dad. Saying what you think doesn't mean you have to take sides or anything like that. You don't. You've a right to have a relationship with both your parents unless for some reason it's not safe for you. Thing is, if you'd like the judge to take your thoughts on board too, your parents could see what the options are for you to do that.
Sometimes, family law stuff takes a long time to sort out. It did with my mom and dad. It was tough. Everything felt real uncertain for a while. Made it easier taking time for myself, hanging out with mates, just doing things I like.
That and talking. At first, I bottled things up, acted like nothing much was happening. I didn't know how to talk to mum and dad about everything, and I wasn't sure about telling my friends. Guess I was worried what they'd think. There was so much going through my head. Worries, questions. In the end, I wrote down what was on my mind and gave it to mum and dad to read. I talked to my auntie too. She's great. She helped me talk with them. And when I told my close friends, it was grand. Thing is, and I see this better now, there are different kinds of families in every community.
It's a lot to deal with. Didn't like the idea at first, but I got some counselling. It was good. Took a load off. It takes time, but you do get used to the changes. My mom and dad are happier now, and so am I. I suppose the important thing is to take care of yourself and, reach out to someone you trust when you need to talk.
There's people who care about you. You know who they are, and they'll want to help. And there's support services too, just for young people, like us.